Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to create the smiling dragon on the rainbow loom. We're going to use 2 to 3 pins on the loom today. This was originally designed by Souls Provider on Instagram, and I do already have this hook version on my channel. But for today's video, I am going to be doing this style, which we will call Smiling Dragon mk². When he has more than one variation, he does mk1, mk2. So I'm naming this mk2 because the center bands do sit a little bit differently. I actually did it on accident when I was making this example bracelet. Let's see, where is it? You could see right here, I messed up and I realized how much tighter it lays. So I decided to go with that look instead. So hopefully that's okay with everyone. You will need a total of 192 bands roughly. The breakdown is 100 of the border. You will need 46 of your first color, which is where like the clear purple is there. And then 46 of the opaque purple there. Let's get our loom, our hook, and one C-clip and we can get started. To get started, you will want to have your loom set up in a staggered position. I do like to keep the middle bar pin, even though we mainly use these front 2 pins. I use that just to hold a band as we're making it, but it is not required for this. So if you're going to use one of those handheld looms or something like this, you can still make it. And I'll explain what you would do differently if you're not using that pin there. So the first thing we're going to do is choose the border color, which is the peach color here. And I'm going to use yellow. Well, it's like a very pastel yellow. And we are going to twist the first one across these 2 pins like a figure 8. We will stretch another one across without twisting. And we will do one more straight across. We're going to loop up the bottom band on the left pin only. Push that down and we're going to add one more on. And once again, we're going to loop up the bottom band on the left pin only. Push that down some. We now need to transfer the top 2 bands from the right pin over to the left. And you want to grab one at a time so you keep everything in order. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're now going to loop on the right side. So we're going to add one band on. We're going to loop up the bottom band on the right pin. And we have one more to add on to this side. And we're going to once again loop up the bottom band on the right side. So now we are going to bring the top band over to the right. And we would normally, I'm going to just show you what it would look like. We normally would bring this over like this, and that shows you that we are at the start. But you're not going to do that. You're going to keep that one over there because for this bracelet, the middle bands are crossed. So we're going to leave that band there. And on the left pin, we're going to grab the second band down. You're going to bring it over the pin and stretch it over to the right bar pin and reconnect it. So now we are going to choose our pattern colors. There's 2 sets of them. So if you look at this purple row, the darker purple down here on the bottom, that's the color that we're going to be picking now. So I'm going to lay black first. We're going to stretch that straight across. We're going to be looping on the left pin only. We're going to grab the second band down and loop that up. We're going to now grab our second color that you want to be your top V, like I just showed you. So it would be that band there. And I'm going to use this fluorescent yellow. And now we're going to loop up the third band on the left pin only. Every time we lay our 2 pattern colors, we always have to lay 2 border colors. So this will be my first one. We're going to be looping up the third band down on both the left and the right pin. So the third band down will be my black glitter. And now we're going to lay one more border. And we're going to loop the third band down again, which will be my yellow sparkle. Now we're going to grab this top band on the left pin, and we're going to just move it to this back pin just so that it's out of the way for a second. If you're not using this kind of loom, just bring it over to the right side. You just need to move it out of the way for a minute. We're going to bring the bottom band up on the left pin. And now we're going to grab that band that we set back here, bring it back to the left, and we're going to loop the bottom band again. So we are done adding our left side on. So we're going to close it off by bringing the two top right bands over to the left. Push that down. And we're going to do that same process, but we'll be working with the right pin this time mostly. So the first band we're going to lay is our black glitter. We will loop up the second band down. We're going to grab our second color, which is my neon yellow. We're going to bring up the third band down on the right pin only. And now we have to add one at a time, 2 borders. So we will add our first one. We will loop up the third band down on both the right pin and the left pin. And we will add our second border. And we'll do the same thing. We will loop up the third band down on both the right and the left. Sorry, my hand gets really close to the camera and it blurs out. So we need to do the border looping again. So we need to move this top right band out of the way for a second. So I like to just sit it on that back middle pin. And we're going to bring up the bottom band only. Bring that band back from the middle and reattach it on. Make sure it's not twisted. And we'll loop the bottom band up again. So we are done this section now. And we're going to be starting our next section. So if you want to switch colors, you would do that when you lay the next set of bands. So we actually need to close this off. So we're going to bring the top left band back over to the right. So from here, this is what the start of your bracelet should look like. We're going to grab this second band down on the left. If I can get it. All right, so grab the second band down, bring it up and over that band and that pin, and stretch it over to the right. And now we are ready to lay our next set. So I'm going to stick with the same color for every section. So I'm going to go to my black glitter. I'm going to loop up the second band on the left pin. I'm going to grab my fluorescent yellow. I'm going to loop up the third band on the left pin. I'm going to lay my first border and loop up the third band on both pins. And our second border, because remember we always lay 2. We're going to once again bring up the third band on both the right and the left. So we need to loop our border on the left now. And if you ever stop and aren't sure where you are, the pin that has the less number of bands is the side that we have to loop the border on. So you can see there's 7 over here, 6 or 7. So this one has less, so I need to take the top band, move it to the back for a second. I will loop the bottom band. We will bring that band back up to the front and loop the bottom band. So we're done with the left side. We're going to grab the top 2 bands from the right pin and bring them to the left. And now we can start adding bands for the right side. So we'll repeat that. So I'll grab my black glitter. We will loop up the second band down. Grab your second color, which is my yellow. We will loop up the third band down. I'm going to grab my border. We're going to loop the third band down on both pins. And we will lay our second border. And once again, we will loop the third band down on both pins. So we need to loop the border on the right side now. So we're going to move this top band and put it back here so that we can loop the bottom band on the right. And we will bring that back to the front and loop the bottom again. So we are now done that section. So we're going to bring the top band from the left over to the right. Push it down. So we left that band there on purpose, like I said before. So we're going to grab the second one down and cross it over. And we are ready for our next section to start. If at any point you feel like I'm going too fast, you can always slow it down on YouTube. I am a little bit on a time crunch, so I do apologize if it seems like I'm going too quickly. But we are going to go back to our first color, which is my black glitter. We will loop the second band down on the left. I'll lay my yellow. We will loop the third band down on the left. Lay your border. We will lift the third band down on the right and the left. And we will lay our second border. And once again, we will loop the third band down on the left and the right. So now we need to do our border looping. So we're going to move the top left band to the middle for a minute. Bring up the bottom band on the left. Bring your band back to the front. And loop the bottom band again. Push that down. We are done looping for the left side, so we will bring the top two bands over. And now we're going to add our bands on for the right side of the bracelet. So I'm going to grab my black glitter. We are going to loop the second band down. I almost said third. So make sure you loop the second one down. We're going to grab our yellow. We're going to loop the third band down on the right pin only. We will lay our border. We will loop the third band down on both the right and the left pin. And lay our second border. And we will loop the third band on both pins again. We need to do our border looping for the right, so we're going to move the top band back here for a minute. Loop the bottom band. Bring that band back to the front. And loop the bottom band again. So to start the next section, we need to bring the top band from the left over to the right to close that off. And to set it up for the next section, we need to grab the second band down on the left, cross it over to the right and attach. And we are ready for our next section. So you can see the bracelet is starting to form nicely. So since I am on a super time crunch, I am going to put a timestamp right here. It will start you off exactly at the same spot. You will just keep going back to that same exact time slot and keep rewatching it until your bracelet is long enough to fit around your wrist. So after you're done rewatching all of that and have your bracelet long enough, you will be back at this point here. And all you do to close it up is add one more border color. And then you're going to bring up the second band on both the right pin and the left pin. They're going to cross and like open back up. That's what we wanted to do. That's fine. And now we're going to bring up the second band that's there now. And from there, we're going to bring the bottom band up. So the very bottom one will come up next on both pins. And now the bottom one. And the reason we did it like that is just so the ends are fishtailed and it gives it a nice tighter close. We're just going to bring both ends together. Make sure you hold your bracelet when you do that. And then that is where you would attach your C-clip, which I'm not going to do because I only have this teeny tiny little baby piece. But hopefully that was enough instructions for you guys to be able to make it. I am confident that it will be because you can just keep rewatching those same instructions over and over again. But if you did have any problems, let me know. I don't like releasing tutorials that I feel like I rushed through. But I really wanted to get a pin design out this weekend as well. So that'll be it though for you guys. This was the Smiling Dragon originally designed by Souls Provider. This is the mk² version. If you guys like it, hit the like button down below and don't forget to share it with us on Instagram. But that will be it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you at my next tutorial. Thank you. Bye.